All right, y'all. Today we're gonna be dealing with a topic. One of our brothers that we was kicking it with for a while has started to fall into the doctrine of Christianity again, if that makes sense. Somebody using the Hebrew names, but with a Christian doctrine. So that's a hard pill to swallow. You know what I'm saying? When you got somebody using the same names that you was used to hearing. Somebody that's coming with the same type of spirit. You know what I'm saying? But they bringing you right back to the Christian doctrine. So they can say, oh, we got the Hebrew just like them. We got this just like them. But you ain't got to keep no Shabbat. You ain't got to keep no laws. It's all in you. You know what I'm saying? This is very dangerous because this gives somebody the opportunity to do the thing in which they always wanted to do in their heart. But just, it was people preaching against it. You know what I'm saying? When sin lies in your heart, one way or another is going to come out. You know what I'm saying? When you feel like you're in a bind in life and oh, if I don't do this, I'm going to get fired from my job. If I don't do this, my wife going to leave me. If I don't do this, you know what I'm saying? When you feel like you're in a bind and somebody get to preaching to you, you got to keep the commandments. You got to walk steadfast. You got to walk in the Torah or the way, the truth. Things get shaky. And all you need is somebody to tell you what you want to hear. And you're going to bolt. You know what I'm saying? So the title of this lesson is called Press Towards the Mark. Press Towards the Mark. And the reason I picked that for a title, we're going to go into the epistle letter that said that. But the reason why I say that is because we got to, this is not you know how we go when we run on Sundays, brothers, right? Or, half run on Sunday. Right? After you run your mile or your 2 miles, that's it. You done. You know what I'm saying? We do 3. 3 miles. You know what I'm saying? You done after that. Right? But when it comes to this truth, when it comes to this walk, when it comes to the Torah, when it comes to the Father and His Son, it ain't no running 3 miles and being done. You have to run until you make it to the destination. The destination is what? The kingdom. This is the destination. As long as you're here on this earth, you have to be running toward it. You know that saying or that song, if heaven was a mile away, I'll pack my bags, right? So the thing about it is, even though people say that, a lot of people will be like, man, I'll go tomorrow. Or I'll go next week. It'll be an excuse. You know what I'm saying? But since we can't see that Shamayim is close or the salvation is near, because we can't physically see it with our eyes and see the kingdom down the street, a lot of people get weary. They start to fade away. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you to put your spiritual goggles on. Because it is down the street. It is up the way. But you ain't going to be able to see it with your physical eye. Right? He bringing the kingdom down from where? From the Shamayim. Right? He bringing the New Jerusalem down to the earth. You can't see that. But you know it's there. Right? So press towards the mark. Keep going. Do not stop. The root word for pressure is what? Press. So it ain't going to be easy. I gave Quad this analogy a couple days ago. When anybody played Atari? Or Game Boy or Nintendo? Yeah, I know about Atari. I know about Atari. Right? If the game say, I'll speed it up. I use PlayStation. Y'all know what PlayStation is. if the game say push X to escape, and it says hold X, are you going to hold it lightly? Y'all played the games before, right? Do you hold that button lightly, or do you mash that thing in? You mash it. You like, all it takes is for you to hold it, but you going to mash that joint. Right? Because you got to make sure you're going to be able to escape, or you're going to lose the game. The same thing with this walk. You can't just do it lightly. This ain't no brisk like I used to do before I started running. You know what I'm saying? This ain't no brisk walk. We actually got to run towards this thing and make sure we get there. It's in Colossians 3:17. Press towards the mark.
Colossians 3:17. And whatsoever you do in word or deed.
So whatever you do in word or deed, like we always speak about, whatever you do it in your mind, whatever you saying out of your mouth, whatever you doing in the physical, do what?
And whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, giving thanks to the Most High and the Father by Him.
So now we got to do all of these things in the name of HaMashiach and give thanks to the Father. Like in Romans the 7th chapter. Let's go to Romans the 7th chapter right quick. I'm gonna give you an example of that. Romans chapter 7. Real quick before we start. Romans chapter 7 and pick it up at verse 24. He says, do all these things in the name of Hamashiach, giving thanks to the Most High, right? This is Paul in Romans chapter 7, verse 24. Let's see what he said. Go ahead.
Romans chapter 7 and 24. O wretched man that I am.
So the whole chapter, he talking about the things that he do wrong in his body and how he, in the flesh, you serve sin and how it's hard to keep the law in his flesh, right? O wretched man that I am. Read.
Who shall deliver me from the body of this death?
Because when you in your flesh, it says to be carnally minded is what? Right? To be carnally minded is death. Right? So he said, who gonna deliver me from the body of this death? Right? Read.
I thank the Most High.
I do what?
I thank the Most High.
He says, I thank the Most High through
Hamashiach our Master. So then with the mind I myself serve the law of the Most High.
So in word or deed, you got to do in the name of Hamashiach, giving thanks to the Most High, right? In his mind, he served the what?
But with the flesh, the law of sin.
He said with his mind, he served the laws of the Most High, but with his flesh, the laws of sin. What that let you know you're supposed to be in? The spirit or the flesh? The spirit. Right? So everything that we do, we got to do in the name of Hamashiach, giving thanks to the Father by him. Right? Let's go to Philippians chapter 3. Philippians chapter 3. Pick it up at verse 12.
Philippians chapter 3 and verse 12. Now as though I had already attained, either were already perfect, but I follow after, if that I may have preached, that for which also I am apprehended of Hamashiach.
He said, it's not as though I've already attained. Either was already perfect, right? So before having the knowledge of Hamashiach, it wasn't no perfection. He thought he was, because remember, it says that he served the perfect manner of the law, right? But it says, I follow after, that I may apprehend that for which I am also apprehended of who?
Hamashiach.
So Hamashiach is going to seek and search you out. He coming to find you. Remember, he chose you, right? It ain't something that you did. You chose. He chose you. Romans chapter 8 said you was predestinated for this job. Right? Read on.
Brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended, but this one thing I do.
I ain't count myself to saying I have apprehended, but this one thing I know I do. Read.
Forgetting those things which are behind.
Do what?
Forgetting those things which are behind.
It says, forgetting those things which are behind, and what else?
And reaching forth unto those things which are before.
I got to forget that stuff I used to do. I got to forget that old man I used to be. Because I can't look forward if I'm steady looking back. My brother Brandon said to me, was that last week? He said, we was talking about saving money. And I was like, man, I could have saved this amount of money if I would have just paid attention. He said, hindsight is always 20/20. Looking back, you always see clearer, right? But you here now. What's the point of, you can't crawl over spilled milk? What's the point of looking back on it? Now you know what you got to do. You got to move on. You got to move forward. You got to press towards the mark. Let's get an example of the Most High laying this very foundation down of not looking back to what you used to be, not looking back to who you were. Let's get Exodus chapter 20 and verse 1. Exodus chapter 20 and verse 1. The Most High laid down this very principle.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 1. And the Most High spake all these words, saying, I am Yahuwah your power, which have brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
So the Most High speaking to the children of Israel, our forefathers, right? And tell them, look, I brought you out of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Let's jump over to Deuteronomy 26 and verse 8. He said, I'm the one who brought you out of here. All right? Deuteronomy 26 and 8. Remember, well, it's probably too late, but we're going back to Philippians. We got to tell y'all to hold that, my bad. 26 and verse 8 in the book of Deuteronomy. So he brought us out of there, right? Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 26 and verse 8. And Yahuwah brought us forth out of Egypt with a mighty hand.
With a regular hand.
With a mighty hand. And with an outstretched arm. And with great terribleness. And with signs and with wonders.
He brought us out of there with signs and with wonders. With a great and stretched forth arm, right? So this wasn't nothing light. Could you imagine walking through the sea, seeing the waters rise up on each side of you walking through? This is something that why people say that the book ain't real, because this is something that the mind can't even fathom. You know what I'm saying? All of these plagues going on, water turning into blood, people can't even fathom this stuff. So he's telling you with many signs and wonders I brought you out. I did this. Don't get it twisted. Right? Let's get Leviticus chapter 18. So now that he brought us out of the land of Egypt, right? What we not supposed to do? You ain't supposed to go back. Not only don't I want you going back there, but I don't even want you thinking about the stuff you used to do back there. Right? I don't even want your mind on it. The person that you used to be before this, before you came into this word, before you came, I don't want you thinking about that person. Because that person was contrary to me. I need you pressing towards who I want you to be. But if you keep on reminiscing on that person that you once was, what do you tend to fall back to? Person that you once was. You ain't even got to do something that you used to do. All it takes is for you to think about it. Right? Leviticus 18 and 1.
Leviticus chapter 18 and verse 1. And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, I am Yahuwah your power. After the doings of the land of Egypt.
What?
After the doings of the land of Egypt.
After what they did, what y'all did, whatever y'all did over there. I'm not thinking about that right now. Whatever y'all did over there, go ahead.
After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein you dwelt, shall ye not do.
Don't come over here with that garbage. I brought you out of there for a reason. Read.
And after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I will bring you, shall ye not do.
So when I bring you to this land, and I had y'all smash them out, I don't want y'all doing what they was doing. Read.
Neither shall ye walk in their ordinances. Ye shall do my judgments.
You shall do what?
You shall do my judgments. And keep mine ordinances to walk therein. I am Yahuwah your power.
Go ahead.
Ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, which if a man do, he shall live in them.
If he do, he gonna do what?
He shall live in them.
So after 40 years in the wilderness, and all of these people was killed off, what did they not do? They ain't doing stuff. They ain't doing statutes, his judgments, right? His commandments. That's why they got killed before they was able to go into the land. Read.
I am Yahuwah.
So this is what we got to understand. He brought us out of Egypt, and he said, don't do the stuff that I brought you away from. Deuteronomy 28:68 tell you that he brought you into what again? Egypt again, right? Bondage again. We in bondage. We in captivity, right? But once you woke up and realized you was in captivity, and realized not only was you in a physical captivity, but now you in a mental, a spiritual captivity. Once he break the chains off of that, what you not supposed to go back to doing? You ain't supposed to go back to doing the stuff you came out of. We all agree, right? Ephesians chapter 4, verse 22. This is stuff we all know before we get into what we get into. Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 22. He done brought us out of all of this garbage, out of all of this mess. You know what I'm saying? You got people who used to be pimps, drug dealers. You got people who used to be con artists. You got people who used to be whores. You got people who used to do all manner of things under the Shamayim, under the heavens. But now it's time to turn away from that. Don't think about that stuff you used to do. We done made it a long way. How many of us, I always ask this question every once in a while, how many of us could almost died in your life? You made it a long way. From almost having no life to the opportunity to be a part of life everlasting. That's a long way. Ephesians chapter 4 verse 22.
Ephesians 4 and 22. That ye put off concerning the former conversations the old man, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind, and that ye put on the new man, which is after the Most High, is created in righteousness and true kodeshness.
So he's telling you, the person that you once was, just like when you was in Egypt, when you come out, leave that alone. Leave that stuff alone, man. It ain't good for you. Right? This is what we got to realize. You cannot be looking backwards if you're trying to go forward. Anybody seen how they do a relay race? See how do they grab the baton?
They just reach back for it.
That's all they do. Their eyes is set on what? Straight forward. You ain't looking back. You're not paying attention to that person that you was. Right? You ain't paying attention to the person that's behind you, because what happens if they turn around? They'll turn around, they'll lose their belly, they'll fall. Right? So we got to keep that principle handy. Right? Let's get Hebrews chapter 6 and verse 1. Hebrews chapter 6 and verse 1.
Hebrews chapter 6 and verse 1. Therefore, leaving the principles of the doctrine of Hamashiach, let us go on unto perfection, not laying again the foundations of repentance from the dead, works from dead works, and of faith toward the Most High.
What does this mean? Anybody know what this means? Anybody give me what this means? I'm going to read it. It says, therefore, leaving the principles of the doctrine of Hamashiach, let us go unto perfection, not laying again the foundation of repentance from dead works and of faith towards the Most High. See?
Altar calls every week like they have in the churches.
Exactly. It shouldn't be an altar call every week. You shouldn't be repenting for the same thing over and over again. Why? Because it ain't repentance. You know what I'm saying? Leave the old stuff alone. If you told me you were sorry for breaking the Shabbat, if you told me you were sorry for committing adultery, if you told me you were sorry for, leave it alone. Don't keep doing the same thing over and over again. I ain't got time for that. How many times can you go to the same credit company, right? And you ask for a $10,000 loan, right? They give you the $10,000. Yeah. You don't pay it. You know what I'm saying? And then after a while, they're like, you know what? Give us 6,000 of it, and we'll wipe it clean. You give them 6,000, right? You say, okay, I needed some more. They give you some more. And then you do it again. You think they're going to keep on lending you the same stuff? It's a wrap. I done already forgave you for what you done did. How many times can you file bankruptcy?
Well, once every 10 years.
Huh?
Every 10 years.
Once every 10 years? You might have already. He said he called his team down.
That was the last time in September.
Right. September 01. All right, it's 2011. I can do it again. That's not a good thing. All right. Let me give y'all the system has been set up to make you not accountable. Debt forgiveness makes you not accountable. The book preaches that you have to be accountable. Should we even be able to file bankruptcy? Look, out of the whole bunch. Huh? What? Well, at least once, huh?
Render unto Caesar what is Caesar.
You gotta pay up, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta pay up. Be wise enough to, if you go do something, make sure you can pay for it. Right?
Read the fine print.
Or read the fine print book. Right?
And you still gonna get got.
Exactly. So we gotta realize that we got to be accountable for the things that we do. And we can't keep going back to the old stuff that we was doing before. Can't look forward if you're going back. Right? 1 Peter 2 and 21. Another one that's a well-known out of the epistle letter. All right? 2 Peter 2 and 21. 2 Peter chapter 2 verse 21.
2 Peter chapter 2 and 21. For it had been better for them not to have known the way of righteousness than, after they have known it, to turn from the Kodesh commandments delivered unto them. But it has happened unto them according to the true proverb, the dog is turned to his own vomit again, and the sow that was washed to her wallowing in the mirror.
So again, right here, he's telling you, it's better for you not to even change up than to go back to the stuff that you used to do. So we see this principle all around in the book, right? This is evident. But let's get Exodus 19 and 4. Some people just hard-headed like that. Some people is just hard with it. Even when you get shown the light, even when you told and showed that you got to keep the commandments, even when it get told and shown to you that you've been doing wrong, you've been dealing deceitfully, some people is just hard-headed. Now, we talked about how we was brought out with a stretched forth arm, right? We talked about how the Most High brought us out with a mighty hand and did all these wonderful works for the children of Israel. Let's see what these people got to say. Exodus chapter 19 and verse 4.
Exodus 19 and 4. Ye have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bare you on eagle's wings, and brought you unto myself.
He said, what? I brought you on eagle's wings to myself. Again, showing how mighty he did it. I brought you out of here with my power, with my strength. I didn't have to do nothing for you. Read.
Now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine.
How many of y'all would have took that and said, I'm rolling with you? I got you. You done brought me through the sea. You done did these plagues to these people. You done, man, I ain't got time to be messing around with you. How many of y'all would have took that deal? I would have took that deal. How many of y'all know y'all would have took that deal? Y'all know it? But then when you got there, would you be comfortable with it? You've been in Egypt all your life. That's all you know. And he told you, hey, don't go out there and grab it on the Shabbat. Hey, you can't sleep with such and such and such and such. Y'all still know y'all would have? I believe y'all. I believe y'all. Let's see what they did though. Let's get Exodus 14. Exodus 14 and verse 12.
Exodus.
Matter of fact, verse 10. He done brought them out of Egypt, right? 10 plagues he done dropped on these people, right? And now they standing at the sea. Let's read it.
Exodus 14 and 10. And when Pharaoh drew nigh, the children of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them, and they were sore afraid. And the children of Israel cried out unto Yahuwah.
How many of y'all would have been scared? It's normal. You know what I'm saying? He's scared. Bob said he would have boxed them out. Chariots and all.
Arms too short.
I was too short to box the cold, right?
Next verse.
And they said unto Moses, because there was no graves in Egypt, hast thou taken us away to die in the wilderness?
Now, the Most High just did all this stuff. You're like, man, there wasn't no graves in Egypt. We could have just died there if you was just going to bring us out here to die. Right? Read.
Wherefore hast thou dealt thus with us, to carry us forth out of Egypt? Is it not this word that we did tell thee in Egypt, saying, let us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians? For it had been better for us to serve the Egyptians than that we should die in the wilderness.
Man, you should have just left us where we was at. I told you when we was there. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to go. I want to serve them. I want to be subject to my master. I like getting beat. It's retarded. The Most High done showed you he been with you this whole time. These people done gave up everything that they got and gave to you and leave up out of the land. But they're like, no, that, you know, I was good where I was at. I didn't want my own cattle. I didn't want my own food. I didn't want my own this and that. I didn't want that. I wanted to be a servant. That's the same way we are when it comes to sin. Oh, man, I wish I would. Why I even have to find this out, man? I liked working on the Sabbath. I like work. Man, I get paid double if I work the whole week. Why I have to learn this stuff, man? Right? Verse 13.
Verse 13. And Moses said unto the people, fear ye not.
But he told them to fear not. Out of all that madness, fear not. Let's go back to Philippians. You can't want to go back once he done brought you out. You can't go back. And you know what's crazy about the Most High? Is he'll bring you out just to damn you. Them people that died after them 40 years, them people were supposed to die. Why? Because they didn't have a heart and a mind to serve after the Most High. He will bring you out just to damn you. To show what your heart really like. Need to pay attention to that. Because if you find yourself in a situation to where you gonna willingly go against the Father for anything that come up in your life, you was meant to do that. You was meant to do that. He don't have no pleasure in the death of him that died. But we seen how he did his son. He let all of his aggression out on his son, right? Killed his only begotten for you. And then you got the nerve to turn around and take it for granted. Let's go back to Philippians. Chapter 3, verse 13. Again.
Philippians 3 and 13. Brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended, but this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind, and reaching forth unto those things which are before. I press toward the mark.
I do what?
I press toward the mark.
I press towards the mark. I'm not looking back no more. I'm pressing towards the mark. I got to go forward. I got to get to this prize. Read.
I press toward the mark for the prize of the high calling of the Most High in Hamashiach.
Now, what is this prize? What is the mark? What is the prize? We already talked about the pressure. The press, right? What is this mark? What's the prize? Eternal life, right? That's the prize. What's the mark? To a degree. Specifically. Hamashiach. Yeah, I get you. Specifically. Obedience. Yeah. Let's go to Exodus 31. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go to Exodus 31. Because he says, I press towards the mark, right? The prize is the kingdom, eternal life. Exodus 31 and verse 16.
Exodus chapter 31 and verse 16.
Who got their Strong's concordance? We're going to need it right quick. You got your jump? Okay. Exodus chapter 31 and verse 16. Get the one for verse 17. Get verse 17. We're going to read 16 again, 17.
Exodus chapter 31 and verse 16. Wherefore the children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath, to observe the Sabbath throughout their generations for a perpetual covenant.
How long is perpetual? Y'all sure? Y'all sure?
On and on and on.
What if I showed y'all the perpetual was something different? Exactly. You can't. Perpetual, all right. It's forever. It's all going, right? So this means forever. This don't mean stop and do something else 3,000 years later, 4,000 years later. This means forever. Keep on keeping the Shabbat, right? Keep going.
It is a sign.
It's a what?
A mark.
A what?
A sign between me and the children of Israel forever.
So what is that? What is the Hebrew for that? The number for in the Strong's?
It is 8226.
Read that.
And it's the Hebrew word oath, sign, signal, a distinguishing mark.
It's a distinguishing mark, right? This is a mark, right? So when he says press towards the mark, what is he telling you to press to get to?
The rest.
The rest. Press to get to the rest. We got a Shabbat coming up, right? We ain't talking about the one we do on the weekly. We ain't talking about the feast days. We got a Shabbat coming up for real. This one ain't gonna last 24 hours. How long y'all think this one gonna last? Perpetually. Right? So when he say press towards the mark, he talking about this rest, right? So let's get a little bit more into. Matter of fact, finish reading that out.
It is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever. For in 6 days Yahuwah made Shamayim and the earth, And on the seventh day he rested and was refreshed.
He rested and he was refreshed. Now, if he did that back then, and he's telling you that this is what you need to work to now, why would you ever go back and do anything contrary to what he told you to do? What happens if you look back? Do anybody know what Hamashiach says happens if you look back? You're done. You're not worthy. Turn to salt. Oh, that's a good one. Turn to salt. Right? Let's see. Let's get Luke chapter 9. Luke chapter 9, I'm going to start at verse 57. Luke 9 and 57.
Luke 9 and 57.
Hold on. Start at verse 57. Sorry.
Luke 9 and 57. And it came to pass that as they went in the way, a certain man said unto him, Master, I will follow thee whithersoever thou goest.
I'm going to follow you wherever you go. What is this called? It's a word that is used. A what? Nope. What did he just become? A disciple. Right? I'm going to follow you wherever you go. This is a disciple. Right? How many of us can say that we're honestly disciples? We're going to follow this man and whatever he tells us, whatever he make, you know what I'm saying, make us do. Honestly. I ain't going to turn from it to the left or to the right. Right? Even through tribulation, I ain't going to turn from it, right? Y'all disciples, right? Verse 58.
Verse 58. And Yahushua said unto him, Foxes have holes, and birds of air have nests, but the Son of Man have nowhere to lay his head.
I ain't got nowhere to sleep. I need to come and stay with you. I ain't got nowhere to sleep. I'm glad you said that to me. Right? Let's read verse 59.
And he said unto another, Follow me.
So he told another one. This man told him, I'm going to follow you. He turns and tells somebody else, follow me. Right? My man's already laid the example down. Jerome say, hey, Chad, I got you. I'm rolling with you, right? And then I say, Rob, come on, roll with us too. Right? Read.
But Rob said, no. But he said, Master, suffer me first to go and bury my father.
What did he just do?
He didn't follow.
He didn't follow. I got to go and bury my dad, man. You understand, right? I said, let's go now. This ain't no regular old man telling you that this is the Son of Man. They know this. I got to go and bury my father. I can't get with you right now. Do you know what you just did? Let's read. You just put something before the Most High Son. You just put something before the one who gave you your law, statutes, and commandments. The one who created you by the hand of the Father. Read on.
Yahushua said unto him, Let the dead bury the dead, but go thou and preach the kingdom of the Most High.
Hey, you ain't got to go bury your dad. You ain't got to go bury your parents. They gone. They gone. I got a job for you to do. When we just talk about don't cry with spilled milk, it's gone. Ain't no more life in that person. I need you to do this. I need you to go and preach the kingdom. When somebody sets in doubt or a reason not to do something that the Most High tell you to do, what does that make another person do? It makes them do the same thing. It's like a trickle effect, right? So let's see what happens. A little leaven. Exactly. Verse 61.
Verse 61. And another also said.
Now mind you, when my man's told him, I'm going to follow you, ain't nobody had nothing to say. But now he told him to follow me. He said, okay, Yeah, I got to go bury my parents. Then somebody else say, oh yeah. Like you've been to school, right? When one kid said they got to go to the bathroom, everybody got to go now. What nobody think about going to the bathroom? Oh, I got to go to the bathroom too. Oh yeah, me too. Right? Read.
And another also said, Master, I will follow you.
I'm going to follow you.
But let me first go and bid them farewell.
But let me go and bid them farewell. I'm going to follow you, but let me go back here and bid them farewell. Read.
Bid them farewell, which are at home at my house.
They at home. I got to go back to the house so I can say bye to my family. You already here with me, man. I need you to follow me now. Let's go. They're going to get taken care of. I need you to follow me right now. Right now, I need you to follow me. This wasn't a choice. This was something Hamashiach asked him to do. He literally asked him. Right? Read.
And Yahushua said unto him, no man, having put his hand to the plow and looking back, is fit for the kingdom of the Most High. Whew.
He said, let me go and tell my parents, let me go tell my people back at home that I'm leaving with you. Ain't nobody that put their hands to the plow and look back fit for the kingdom. You ain't even worthy of this. This ain't what you want to do. This ain't what you got in you. Don't look back. Press towards the mark. You keep on looking back. By the time you look forward, it's going to be already done past you up. Press towards the mark. Right? Get Proverbs chapter 4. And verse 24. We got to stay focused. Right? We got to stay focused. Proverbs 4 and 24. It's all going to go to something. It's all going to something. Proverbs 4 and 24.
Proverbs 4 and 24. Put away from thee a froward mouth and perverse lips. Put far from thee.
So he say put away. That means you had to have it at one point, right? Yeah. So when he say put away the evil of your doings, that means you used to do evil at one point in time, right? According to him. You might thought you was doing good, but according to him, you wouldn't, right? Put it away. Read.
Let thine eyes look right on.
Do what?
Let your eyes look right on.
Turn around and look backwards.
Right on.
Stay focused. Look right on to what you're trying to get to. Read.
And let thine eyelids look straight before you.
Look straight before you. Verse 27. Because the tribulation coming, right? Paul just talked last week about this tribulation because it's coming. We need to know that we got to keep our eyes on the prize. Don't fall to none of this madness that's about to start happening. Read.
Verse 27. Turn not to the right hand, nor to the left.
You can't shake. You can't waver. Read.
Remove thy foot from evil.
Remove your foot from evil. Right? Let's get Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. So now we got this mark, this Shabbat, from what he did from the very beginning. Right? We got this rest that we need to get to. Right? Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. Because a lot of people make it seem like you already in rest. Oh, the Sabbath is in me. I am the Sabbath. Every day is my Sabbath. He gave me rest. Did he ever tell you he gave you rest? Or did you think that he told you he gave you rest? Let's see.
Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. The thing that has been, it is that which shall be.
It's that which shall be. So the Sabbath was the start of this stuff. Now the Sabbath got to be the end of this thing, right? Read.
And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun.
If it's been a Sabbath, it's going to be a Sabbath. Right? Why would this man say, hey, Genesis 2 and 1, here's the Sabbath. I'm resting on the seventh day. And then say, well, after this, y'all good. Y'all ain't got to keep no more Sabbath. And then I'm going to have another Sabbath and you're going to rest. No, man. That thing which was, it continued on, and it's going to be again. Right? Let's see. I do got a question though. What's the difference between the Sabbath before, the one that he had in the beginning, and the Sabbath to come? Because he said that which shall be was that thing that already was, right? What was the difference between the two? He was there.
We know now.
No, that's kind of right. It's a difference though.
We were placed in the first one. We have to choose to get into the second one.
Say that again louder, brother. I want to put you on this microphone right now. Say it again.
We were placed in the first one. We have to choose to get into the second one.
Exactly. Adam and Eve was just put there. I mean, he just said, hey, here's man, here's this woman. They good. They ain't got to work for nothing. They got to plow the ground. They got to do nothing. They just there. The Most High saw, or he knew, that they didn't appreciate it. Right? So now this rest to come, guess what you got to do to get there? You got to work.
You got to work for the rest.
You have to work for rest. Exactly. Let me give you an example. How many of y'all work 5 days out of a week? How many of y'all work 6? Super workers. Right? So when you work your 5 days, your 6 days, right? When it comes to the Shabbat, what do it feel like? It really feel like, oh my goodness, man. I ain't got to get up out of bed at 8 in the morning, 5 in the morning. Whew. But what happens if you don't work none of those days when it comes to the Shabbat? What do it feel like? Feel like every other day. Right? You appreciate the Shabbat when it come around. Same thing with this one coming now. You're going to appreciate it because you had to work to get there. When you got to work to buy your own video games, you're going to take care of them. When your mama buy your video games, you might not take so much care of it. Right? I had to learn that the hard way. Right? So let's see something. Let's get Hebrews. Matter of fact, Proverbs chapter 10 first. Proverbs 10 and verse 16. And then we're going to pick it up in Hebrews chapter 4.
Proverbs 10 what?
16.
Proverbs 10 and 16. The labor of the righteous tendeth to life.
It tends to what?
To life.
It tends to life. The labor of the righteous tends to life. What do y'all think that life is? Eternal life. But it says the labor of the righteous, not just any old work. The labor of the righteous. What's considered righteous in this book? The commandments. Your righteousness is an everlasting righteousness. Your law is the truth. Your commandments are righteous, according to that Psalms 119 and 172. Right? Hebrews chapter 4.
The fruit of the wicked is to sin.
Oh, yeah. The fruit of the wicked is sin. Right? And what is sin? Hold on, man. Y'all, I was looking for my man to say that. No disrespect, y'all. What is sin? It's the transgression of the law. Right? Hebrews chapter 4, verse 3. They said the labor of the righteous is going to get you life. Right? Now, I want y'all to, you know what I'm saying, hold your boots for a minute because we're getting ready to go into something. Hebrews 4 and 3.
Hebrews chapter 4 and verse 3. For we which have believed do enter into rest. And he said, as I have sworn in my wrath, if they shall enter into my rest.
If they shall what?
enter into my rest.
You have an option to go. You have an option. Choice was a big word that we was using. What was that, last week or 2 weeks ago? Choice. Choice, 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 choice. You have the option to go. You don't have to go and get, listen, if I said, Ryan, in this bag is $5 million, right? No strings attached. All you got to do is walk to the bag and take it home. That's it. Right? Would you come? Okay. Now, you don't know on your walk, I told Rob to kick his foot out. I told Jerome to throw his clipboard at you. You know what I'm saying? And we done slid these tables over to where it'll be hard for you to get there. But you still want to get it. Why? Because she said, because I'm broke. Right though. You will still want to get it, right? And I say, even when he kick his foot out, he throw the clipboard, we slide these tables over, you can't look to the left or to the right. I need you to look directly at that bag. How hard is it go? When he kick his foot out, how hard is it for you to know this man kicked his foot out and not look down? You know what I'm saying? He just throw the clipboard at you. How hard is it going to be for you not to look that way? Pretty hard, right? But you want that money. So you're going to get it. Same way. You want to enter into this rest. You cannot stagnate. He told you, don't look to the left or to the right. Go straight ahead. I need you to keep your eyes focused. Get the money. Get the rest.
Go get it.
No, he like, I'm getting it now. Right? Right? Verse 4.
Verse 4. For he spake in a certain place of the seventh day.
On the what?
On the seventh day. On this wise. And the Most High did rest from the seventh day from all his works. And in that place again, if they shall enter into my rest, seeing therefore it remaineth that some must enter therein, and they to whom it was first preached entered not in because of unbelief.
Some didn't enter in because of unbelief. Right? But it's still here. It still remained the same. Right? Read.
And again, he limited a certain day, saying...
Wait, he said he limited every day?
He limited a certain day.
The Sabbath is inside of you.
A certain day.
It's only one day. It ain't every day. I seen T.D. Jake say, I know y'all probably seen it. Yes, the Sabbath is on Saturday. The Sabbath keepers, yes, it's on Saturday. But I have a Sabbath on Sunday. And on Monday. And on Tuesday. And on, what did he just do? He told you the truth. But he mixed it. The tree of knowledge of good and evil. Same thing that I taught last week, right? If I put some truth in there and mix it with some lies, you roll with it. You roll with it. And that's what they bank on, that you're going to roll with it. But this man say he lived a certain day. Saying what?
And again, and he limited a certain day, saying, in David, today, after so long a time, as it is said, today, if you will hear his voice, harden not your hearts. For if Yahushua had given them rest.
If he what?
If he had given them rest.
Now, the people say he said, I gave you rest. It says, if he had given you rest, which means what? He ain't gave you no rest. If I had given you rest, read.
Then would he not afterwards have spoken of another day?
I would have told you. But he ain't gave you rest yet. There's a misinterpretation of what they saying that what he said in the book. There's a misinterpretation when they says they think he gave you rest. Because he had not yet. The only thing that he came and gave you was a peace of mind. If you keep my commandments, I got you. The rest is still to come. Read.
Therefore remaineth therefore a rest to the people of the Most High.
That means it remains. It ain't changed. It's still here. You still have to do it. Right? But again, there's a misunderstanding, a misuse of the scriptures. They change or get mixed up the eternal rest for internal rest. You understand what I'm saying? The eternal rest is forever. The internal rest is what he gave you, your consciousness, your peace of mind. They mix up the two. So we're going to see how. Now,
I'm going to say real quick that rest right there actually is the word sabbatismos that literally means a Sabbath keeper. So it's actually a commandment in the New Testament for the folks that don't understand. It tells you right there to keep the Shabbat.
Absolutely. Read them and weep. The word is a command to tell you to keep the Shabbat, right? How many of them go acknowledge that?
Not me.
Not me. All right? But let's see. Because Matthew chapter 11 is where they get where he says, come to me, all of y'all that's heavy laden, right? I'm going to make your yoke easy, right? It's a misunderstanding. They don't understand that what he was saying was way deeper than what they could comprehend at the time. We're going to show you how. So if he came to make your burden easier or make your yoke or give you his yoke is lighter, that means that he has to be repairing something that was broken, right? He has to be easing up something that was heavy, right? How many of y'all know what that was? Somebody let me know. What is it that he was easing up? What was it that he was making lighter?
Observing the Torah from what the Pharisees put in the yoke.
Sure.
Yeah.
I can go with that. But no.
I can go with it, but nah.
To a degree. But now it was something much deeper. Can anybody think of it? Do anybody know when the yoke was made heavy on the children of Israel? When they rebelled? When? At what time? In the wilderness? I could go with that. But no. Huh? I don't want to give it away. That's when it was put on? I can go with that. But no. Y'all already see what it is? Specifically. Not what we can try to put together with this, because all of those are good answers. All of those, to a degree, are true. Right? But specifically, a time when a yoke was put upon the children of Israel that catapulted us into being what we are in the state of Israel today. Let's get 1 Kings chapter 12 and verse 1. First Kings chapter 12 and verse 1. Y'all strapping your seatbelts on? We about to move. Let's get it. 1 Kings 12 and 1.
1 Kings chapter 12 and verse 1. And Rehoboam went to teach him, for all Israel would come to teach him to make him king.
They will do what?
To make him king.
All of Israel came to make him king, right? Anybody know who this was? Let's get verse 11 first.
Chapter 1.
Verse 11. You said this was Solomon? Son of Solomon? Y'all sure? Are y'all sure? It said in there, you cheat. Verse 11.
Verse 11. And now where is my father did lay you with a heavy yoke.
So this was Solomon? Right? Oh, this wasn't Solomon, it was his son. Okay. I was making sure. right. So it says that his father did lay you with a heavy yoke. Read.
I will add to your yoke.
He said, I'm going to add to your yoke. Read.
My father have chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions.
So, how did Solomon, this man's father, what does Solomon's name mean? Huh? Peace. How did Solomon chastise? How did he put a yoke on him? This man was the king of peace. How did he make their yoke heavy? Read that again.
Verse 11. And now whereas my father did lay you with a heavy yoke.
With a heavy yoke. Were they in bondage? No. What is he talking about? Did they build up the house of the Most High? No, he hired somebody for that. What is these people talking about? When he killed the general? Let's see. Could be what? Could be his sin. Could be his sin. How many of people agree with that?
I agree with it.
You agree with it?
Because he brought trouble to the house, which lasted through generations, which caused him to be stripped of that kingdom later on anyway.
Okay. Y'all agree with that? Do y'all agree? Well, it was Solomon's sin that made their yoke heavy. I actually like that answer. I don't know if it's right. I'll give you that. But yeah, let's see. Let's see if that's it. All right. Let's get 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 1. Y'all might be right. I don't know. Seems like y'all a little sharp today. Wearing y'all Hebrew type and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Did the Most High divide the kingdom? Do y'all know how it happened? Do y'all know how the kingdom was divided? I know why. But how? Do anybody know how it happened? We always talk about the kingdom being split, but do you know how? What's up, Josh? You got something for me?
I think it was when one of his servants or noblemen said, like, he went against him. They had a revolt.
You might be right. We gonna see. We gonna see. All right. 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 1.
1 Kings 11 and 1. But King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughters of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and the Hittites.
Man, we know Solomon was back then. We know, right? Verse 2.
Of the nations concerning which Yahuwah said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go in unto them.
Strike number 1. You went and dealt with the women I told you not to. You already got a plethora of women, but you done dealt with the women I told you not to.
Neither shall they come in unto you, for surely they will turn away your heart after their gods.
Verse 4.
Verse 4. For it came to pass, when Solomon was old, that his wives turned away his heart after other gods, and his heart was not perfect with Yahuwah his power, as was the heart of David his father.
So now his heart is not perfect no more after he done got these women, right? Let's drop down to verse 7.
Verse 7. Then did Solomon build an high place for Chemosh, the abomination of Moab, in the hill that is before Jerusalem.
So he did evil in the sight of the Most High and then built high places for these other gods, right? Read on.
And for Moloch, the abomination of the children of Ammon. And likewise did he for all his strange wives, which burnt incense and sacrificed unto their gods.
It would tell you how many strange wives he had. But we know he had 700 wives, right? So this could be all the way from a couple high places to a couple hundred high places. Right? Verse 10. Matter of fact, verse 9.
Verse 9. And Yahuwah was angry with Solomon, because his heart was turned from Yahuwah his power of Israel, which he had appeared unto him twice, and had commanded him concerning this thing, that he should not go after other gods, but he kept that which Yahuwah commanded, but he kept not that which Yahuwah commanded.
Verse 13.
Verse 13. Howbeit, I will not rend away all the kingdom, but will give one tribe to thy son for David, my servant's sake, and for Jerusalem's sake, which I have chosen.
So he told him, I'm going to rend the kingdom out of your hand, right? You done. But I ain't going to do it while you're alive. You ain't that bad, right? I ain't going to do it while you're alive, but when you die, your son only going to have one tribe. I'm not going to just cut off your bloodline because David was so good to me, right? Let's go back to chapter 9. Let's see how this came about. Chapter 9 and verse 3.
1 Kings chapter 9 and verse 3. And Yahuwah said unto him, I have heard thy prayers and thy supplication that thou hast made before me. I have Kodeshed this house which thou hast built, to put my name there forever, and mine eyes and mine heart shall be there perpetually.
Hold on.
Perpetually.
Read.
And if thou wilt walk before me, as David thy father walked, in integrity of heart, and in uprightness, to do according to all that I have commanded thee, and will keep my statutes and my judgments, then I will establish the throne of thy kingdom upon Israel forever, as I promised to David thy father, saying, there shall not fail thee a man upon the throne of Israel.
So he kept his promise, right? It's still always been a man from David's line as king. Yes? Verse 6.
But if ye shall turn from following me, ye or your children, and will not keep my commandments and my statutes which I have set before you, but go and serve other gods.
How did he know this man was going to do this stuff? Hamashiach was slain from what?
A foundation.
He already knew. Read.
And worship them. Then will I cut off Israel out of the land which I have given them.
Wait a minute. So he said, this is the reason why I'm going to cut them out of the land? Because of him? The Most High already had this thing set up. Read.
Then will I cut off Israel out of the land which I have given them, and this house which I have Kodeshed for my name will I cast out of my sight, and Israel shall be a proverb and a byword among all people.
Where did it sound like this coming from? Deuteronomy 28, right? Read.
And at this house which is high, everyone that passeth by it shall be astonished, and shall hiss, and they shall say, why hath Yahuwah done thus unto this land and to this house? And they shall answer, because they forsook Yahuwah their power, who brought forth their fathers out of the land of Egypt, and have taken hold upon other gods, and have worshipped them, and served them. Therefore hath Yahuwah brought upon them all this evil.
So the Most High brought upon the evil of the children of Israel because of Solomon's sin, right? Which in turn made their yoke what? Heavy, right? He put a burden on them with his sin, right? So he split up the kingdom, right? We're going to get into how he split up the kingdom. Matter of fact, go back to 1 Kings chapter 12 and pick it up at verse 11.
1 Kings chapter 12 and verse 11. And now whereas my father did lay you with a heavy yoke, I will add to your yoke. My father have chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions. So Jeroboam and all the people came to Rehoboam the third day.
Now, how many people, is this all of Israel coming to him? It is. Jeroboam was supposed to take over for who? For Israel. On Israel's side. Rehoboam was supposed to take over for who? Judah. Right? This is all of Israel coming together to make Rehoboam king. Read.
So Jeroboam and all the people came to Rehoboam the third day, as the king had appointed, saying, come to me again the third day.
On what day?
The third day.
Some type of significance somewhere.
And the king answered the people roughly.
He answered the people what?
Roughly. And forsook the old men's counsel that they gave him, and spake to them after the counsel of the young men, saying, my father hath made your yoke heavy, and I will add to your yoke. My father also chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions.
So, when he did this thing and told all of the people together that I'm going to chastise y'all with scorpions, I'm going to make your yoke heavier, right? What you think the children of Israel did? Not Judah, not Benjamin. What did Israel do? Ephraim. Read.
Wherefore the king hearkened not unto the people, for the cause was from Yahuwah.
For what?
The cause was from Yahuwah.
So his heart was hardened to the people against his own. Well, it's not. It wasn't against his own will, but this was in the will of the Most High. He made it to where this man said that I'm going to make the yoke heavy, right? Now, if I tell you that I'm going to make you work twice as hard as everybody else, but I'm going to pay you half as much as I paid them, what you going to do? You going to quit. I ain't working for you. So what the children of Israel do? Let's see. Read.
Wherefore the king hearkened not unto the people, for the cause was from Yahuwah, that he might perform his saying, which Yahuwah spake by Ahaz, the Shilonite, unto Jeroboam, the son of Nebat.
So he told Jeroboam that he was going to be the king of Israel. So in order to make him the king of Israel, he had to have Rehoboam act a plumb fool on the people, and Israel split. Verse 16.
So when all Israel saw that the king hearkened not unto them,
because the people asked him, he said, look, man, your father made our burden heavy. He made our yoke heavy. Can you please, just don't do us like he did, right? Do right unto us, right? Jump over to verse 6.
Verse 6. And King Rehoboam consulted with the old men.
Matter of fact, verse 4.
Verse 4. Thy father made our yoke grievous. Now therefore make thou the grievous service of thy father and his heavy yoke, which he put upon us, lighter, and we will serve you.
He said, make it lighter and we gonna serve you. Right? If you just make it lighter, we got you. Drop down to verse 6.
Verse 6. And King Rehoboam consulted with the old men that stood before Solomon his father while he yet lived, and said, how do you advise that I may answer this people?
What y'all think? Now these people actually was with Solomon when Solomon was reigning. He said, what y'all think about this? Right? What they say? Read.
And they spake unto him, saying, if thou wilt be a servant unto this people this day.
He said, if you, now he's the king, but he said, if you be a servant to this people. Hold on to that. Read.
This day, and will serve them.
And will do what to them?
Serve them.
And will serve them. Read.
And answer them. And speak good words to them. Then they will be thy servants.
For how long?
Forever.
For how long?
Forever.
Now he says, if you serve these people, they're going to be your servants forever. Right? If you speak good things to these people, they're going to be your servants forever. Right? But he was like, I ain't listening to that. I'm going to holler at my homeboys. Right? He wouldn't holler at his homeboys. His homeboys like, man, shoot. Man, I say you make it heavier. I say you do twice as much as your dad was doing to them. Right? So he rolled with his homeboys. This is what caused the split from the prophecy of what the Most High told from Solomon. Right? Let's get Matthew chapter 12. Let's see how it all tie in. We got to tie in somewhere. All right? Matthew chapter 12 and verse 25. So we got the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. We got Judah and we got Israel. Two pieces of the kingdom, right?
Matthew chapter 12 and 25.
Uh-huh.
And Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation.
Is what?
Is brought to desolation.
Was the land not brought to desolation? Did he not destroy the land and make it desolate to this day? He said a kingdom divided against itself. How many of us only thought that this pertained to Satan? Read.
House divided against itself shall not stand. I'll read it from the top.
Yeah.
And Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand?
The kingdom of Israel, where does it stand right now? It ain't one. If Satan fight against Satan, what's going to happen to him? He's divided. He can't stand, right? 1 Kings chapter 14 and verse 30. First Kings 14 and 30.
First Kings chapter 14 and verse 30. And there was war between Rehoboam and Jeroboam all their days.
So they was at war all the days that they was king, right? That means it can't stand. A house divided against itself, they fighting against each other, right? It can't stand, right? Chapter 15 and verse 6.
First Kings 15 and 6. And there was war between Rehoboam and Jeroboam all the days of his life.
Verse 7.
Now the rest of the acts of Abijah and all that he did, are they not written in the books of the chronicles of the king of Judah?
So Abijah was a king as well, right? What else it say?
Chronicles of the king of Judah, and there was war between Abijah and Jeroboam. Keep going.
No, but that's some more war, right? Let's see. Get verse 32.
Verse 32. And there was war between Asa and Baas, a king of Israel, all their days.
So this was consistent. They kept going to war with each other, right? Which means the kingdom can't stand. Right? So now the yoke that Solomon placed on the people has trickled down all the way until right now. Judah vexes Ephraim. Oh, y'all ain't Israelites. Right? Ephraim tells Judah, y'all got it too good over there. Right? We still beefing to this very day. We still in captivity to this very day because of what Solomon did. Right? So let's see. Let's go to Matthew chapter 11. 25. Matthew chapter 11 and verse 25. Now that we see what happened, now we understand where we got to go. Matthew 11 and 25.
Matthew 11 and 25. At that time Yahushua answered and said, I thank thee, O Father, Master of heaven and earth, because thou hast hid these things from the wise and prudent, and hast revealed them unto babes. Even so, Father, for so it seemed good in thy sight. All these things are delivered unto me of my Father, and no man knoweth the Son but the Father, neither knoweth any man the Father save the Son, and he to whosoever the Son will reveal him. Come unto me.
Do what?
Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden.
He said, come to me, all you that are laden And what?
Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden.
So again, we still working, right? But we still got this heavy yoke on us from who? From Solomon, right? Read.
And I will give you rest.
I what?
Give you rest.
I have given you rest.
I will give you rest.
I will. Do that mean he did it? I will. Read.
Take my yoke upon you and learn of me. For I am meek and lowly in heart. And ye shall find rest unto your souls.
You shall find rest unto your what?
Your souls.
Read.
For my yoke is easy.
For my what?
For my yoke is easy. And my burden is light.
So he came to take off of what was put on us way back when, right? Now, with him coming to make your yoke easier, lighter, to bring salvation or rest to your soul, because your soul ain't at rest right now, is it? It can't be, because it still can be damned, right? So with him saying he gonna bring rest to your soul, take his yoke for it's lighter, what else do we have to do? Not only do he ease your consciousness, right? You keeping the commandments, you know that you're good, right? But what else do we got to do? If he gonna make the yoke lighter, the burden easy, what do he have to do? You got to bring them back together. Right? So if the sin is what broke it down and will put the yoke on you, that means that it got to be the righteousness that bring it back together, right? Ezekiel 37. Ezekiel 37 and verse 21.
Ezekiel chapter 37 and verse 21. And say unto them, thus saith Yahuwah, Master, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen.
I will do what?
I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whither they be gone, and will gather them on every side and bring them into their own land.
I'm going to bring them into their own land. Who going to do it?
We're going to get a plane ticket to go with it.
We can't do it ourselves. It's not deliver yourself. He going to do it. Right? Read.
Gather them on every side, and I will bring them into their own land, and I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel.
Because we were split, right? So now he says, I got to make them one nation. Read.
And one king.
And one what?
And one king.
Because how many kings did they end up with after the split? 2. He says, and one king, go ahead,
shall be king to them all.
To them all. Read.
And they shall be no more 2 nations. Neither shall they be divided into 2 kingdoms any more at all. Neither shall they defile themselves any more with their idols, nor with their detestable things.
Now he said, neither shall they defile themselves with idols or detestable things. All of our kings, except for a hand, I'm talking about like a handful, if it's even that much, right? Turn to make us do wickedly. I'll give you an example. You had Rehoboam and Jeroboam, right? The people turned away from Rehoboam, right? And went and served Jeroboam over Israel, right? So this is how you know our people are status drunk. Everybody want to be above or have some type of ranking or status, right? This is what Jeroboam did. I want y'all to tell me if y'all can follow this and see if y'all know some people like this. Rehoboam said, you know what? I'm going to go to the altar and I'm going to pray to the Most High and I'm going to try to get this thing together, right? Get these things in order. You know what Jeroboam did? He said, because he going, let's read it. Let's read it. Let's go back to 1 Kings. Let's read it. 1 Kings chapter 1 chapter 12 and verse 25. Verse 25. He says, they no longer going to defile them with idols or detestable things, right? This is what the kings of Israel was doing. Now, mind you, the Most High made a covenant with Jeroboam. He told Jeroboam, if you do right in my sight, I'm going to treat you like I treated David. Jeroboam was the quote-unquote first king after Solomon. Not Rehoboam, Jeroboam, because he was anointed way before Rehoboam rose up to be king, right? So when you see all of the kings, and he said, and he went after the sins of Jeroboam, and he went after the sins of Jeroboam, and he went after the sins of Jeroboam, it's because of what the Most High told Jeroboam. I'm going to be with you like I was with David. Right? Look at how this man played the game. This is how you know they knew the law, and they had to keep a copy of the law. Verse 25.
1 Kings chapter 12 and verse 25. Then Jeroboam built Shechem in Mount Ephraim, and dwelt therein, and went out from thence, and built Penuel. And Jeroboam said in his heart, now shall the kingdom return to the house of David.
He said in his heart, man, the kingdom is going to return to the house of David. I'm not going to have the people no more. I'm not going to be king no more. I got to do something about that. Now, what would be wrong with the kingdom going back to the house of David where it started? Nothing. Right? But he said this in his heart. So let's see what he did. Read.
If this people go up to do sacrifice in the house of Yahuwah at Jerusalem, then shall the heart of this people turn again unto their Lord, even unto Rehoboam, king of Judah.
If they go to Jerusalem and they do the sacrifices, they're going to want to be under Rehoboam again. Read.
And they shall kill me.
And they're going to kill me when they do that. Now, did the Most High tell him this? Did any prophet come to him and say this? Did any Malachim come to him and say this? Where is this coming from? It's coming from his own heart, his own mind. Read.
And again to Rehoboam, king of Judah. Whereupon the king took counsel and made 2 calves of gold.
Uh-oh. Where he get this from? He got this from Egypt. Now, we already set up in the land. He said, I got to take this back to Egypt. I know the people is used to doing this. I know I can get them with this. Read.
Whereupon the king took counsel and made 2 calves of gold and said unto them, it is too much for you to go up to Jerusalem.
It's too long. Moses been gone too long. Make us gods. Right? You ain't got to go all the way to Jerusalem. I got 2 golden calves right here. Read.
Behold your gods.
Behold your what?
Your gods.
Sound like Aaron, don't it? Read.
O Israel, which brought you up out of the land of Egypt.
Now this is how, when somebody knows the law, can trick you up. Because he knew exactly what your snare could be. And he set it up for you, right? Read.
And he set the one in Bethel.
So he put one in Bethel and put another one where?
And the other he put in Dan.
What's significant about him putting it in Dan? They was the judges. If I can corrupt the judges, I can corrupt the people. We already had some mishaps with Dan before, right? At this time. He said, I'm gonna set him up in Dan. Right? Read.
And this thing became a sin.
And this thing became a what?
A sin. For the people went to worship before the one, even unto Dan. And he made an house of high places, and made priests of the lowest of the people, which were not of the sons of Levi. And Jeroboam ordained a feast.
He did what?
Ordained a feast.
When we came out of Egypt, and he set up them calves, what did he do?
Tomorrow is a feast.
Tomorrow is a feast. He knew the book. He knew the law. So didn't this in turn make it heavier on the people? Because now you got them turning all the way away from the Most High. What did he make them do? He made them turn back. Read.
And Jeroboam ordained the feast in the 8th month, on the 15th day of the month, like unto the feast that is in Judah. And he offered upon the altar, so did he in Bethel, sacrifices unto the calves that he had made. And he placed in Bethel the priests of the high places which he had made. So he offered upon the altars which he had made in Bethel the 15th day of the 8th month, even in the month which he had devised of his own heart.
What did he do? What?
Devised of his own heart.
He devised this of his own heart. Y'all got to pay attention to this. Let's go back to Matthew chapter 11. Matthew chapter 11 and verse 29 again. Verse 28. Because when he brings the kingdom back, where is we going to be at? Where are we going to be at? Excuse me for my grammar hands. Where we going to be at? Nope. Back in the kingdom. You're going to set up the kingdom again, right? And this is going to be what? What is he going to give us? Rest. Right? Verse 28 again.
Matthew chapter 11 and verse 28. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light.
Matthew chapter 12 and verse 8.
Matthew chapter 12 and verse 8. For the Son of Man is master even of the Shabbat day.
So this is doing nothing but showing you that he's the one that's going to bring you back. Take that yoke off you. Bring the kingdoms back together. Bring that Sabbath that's to come, right? Because he's the Lord of the Shabbat, right? He's the master of the Sabbath day, right? Why would this man tell you you ain't got to keep it? Why would this man tell you, if he the one who rested on this day, why would he tell you it's another day? He wouldn't. Right? Malachi 3 and 6. And then we're going to close out with Matthew the 13th chapter.
Malachi 3 and 6. For I am Yahuwah, I change not.
Okay, he said he changed not. We always go here to show that the Most High has always been one way. Right? He says, I change not. But the second part of this is so vital. I change not. Go ahead.
Therefore, you sons of Jacob.
Who are the sons of Jacob?
We are
the children of Israel. Right? I change not. Therefore, you sons of Jacob are what?
Are not Are not consumed.
Are not consumed. This is why I don't change. So you won't burn up. So I don't have to kill you. Well, when somebody come to you and show some inconsistency with the Most High. Oh, well, he was like this at first, but now he like this. Oh, he did this before, but now he do this. He said the Sabbath day was this before, but now it's this. That means he changing, right? And he told you he don't change so you don't be consumed. So when somebody come and they try to show you some type of change, what's going to happen to you if you follow? Matthew chapter 13. Close up. Matthew chapter 13 and verse 47.
13 what?
47.
Matthew chapter 13 and verse 47. Again, the kingdom of Shamayim is like unto a net that was cast into the sea and gathered of every kind, which when it was full, they drew to shore and sat down and gathered the good into the vessels, but cast the bad away.
So now, the kingdom is like a net. When it's put into the sea, do it care what type of fish it grabs? So all these people that come out and say only Israel can be saved, you're a liar. Right? Read. Verse 48 again.
Which then was full, they drew to shore, and sat down, and gathered the good into the vessel, but cast the bad away.
But know for sure that he gonna pick and weed through the good and the bad. Right? Everybody gonna get caught up together. You see that? They all got caught up together. But he had to pluck out the bad, the wheat, the tares, right? Read.
So shall it be at the end of the world.
Same thing gonna happen at the end of the world. Read.
The Malachim shall come forth and sever the wicked from among the just.
He gonna do what?
Sever the wicked from among the just. And shall cast them into the furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth.
Read.
Yahushua saith unto them, have ye understood all these things?
Have y'all understood everything y'all heard today? Read.
They say unto him, yea, master. Then said he unto them.
Oh, that's good. As long as y'all understood everything, we good. Y'all good? With that, I say shalom. Questions, comments, concerns?